Hi, namaste, Meera here. Meera's voices or your dino noises over here. It's been a while I've been wondering what I should record. And it's been a while that I had the copy and the conversation connect with the people with whom I've been talking to. I've kind of consciously taken a break, at least for a week to 10 days, to reflect upon the journey that I have been traveling, to reflect upon the experiences that I have been showered or blessed with, and to reflect upon how do I take this as a gift and moving further. The 15 and a half years of the corporate experience gave me a lot of learning. Maybe that's the place I actually learned there is something called storytelling, there is something called pattern breaking, there is something called reflecting, there's something called to get corporated. Well, getting corporated, it is just not in the workplace. It's something that happens everywhere. How do I say that? Let me connect that. Getting corporate always talks about the purpose, the value, the mission, and the value that we can give our customer or our clients. That is the first lesson. Yes, that is the first lesson. Whether it's for a fresher who joins an organization, or for someone who is an experienced person, or someone who joins directly in the management, or someone who is part of the decision-making team, whoever, or even to the investors when you make that pitch deck presentation to them. Apart from the grant, apart from the financial assistance, all that we look for, we speak about value. You give me this and this is what you get as a value-added services from our organization is what every organization speaks about, and that's something I would say a basic ask or a fundamental or the foundation for any building for that matter. How am I going to connect that with our present life? Today is one such day. As always, yes, I started my day at 4 o'clock with my kriyas and the exercise, or a little bit of a yoga and reading some amount of, a few pages. Of course, I flip through early in the morning. I love doing that. And then start my chores at 5:45, cooking breakfast, making lunch, everything, and getting my little minion, getting her ready to the school. I feel everything is easy but for getting the minion to the school. Sometimes, we just go with the flow, and sometimes I'm in a hurry, or she is like, okay, fine, Amma, just relax, be cool. This is what she says. And the very moment, the moment she says that, I kind of become cool. But the next second I realize that time doesn't pause, right? And though I know to drive a car, though I know to ride a bike, but still I keep that as a last option. Well, everybody have their own preferences. Might be when you're someone who's listening to this and you might wonder, what, you don't like driving? You keep that as a last option? Well, that is Meera. So as it was getting late and I had packed her breakfast, I had packed her box for snacks, and of course the school has also got some requirement, like they have a fruit week, a vegetable week, and yes, I have packed the fruit that they had asked the little one to carry to the school, and also the lunch box, and then and her own books and all these stuffs. Everything was done, and today I'm late by 10 minutes. No, like 8 minutes to be precise. Yeah. So when it comes to time, I really get that precise. It's important. My minion was like, Amma, 10 and 8. It's just a difference of 2 minutes. Well, can I speak about being corporated and say, 2 minutes, you cannot just take it for granted. 2 minutes, so many things happen. 2 minutes, the share value rises. All these things are going up in my mind. But I just looked at her and she was like, wait, 2 minutes, I'll pack my toys in the bag and come. I was like, no, the bus will leave. I know for the fact the driver of the bus, he's pretty courteous and pretty nice enough. Most of the time he says, if in case you're late, to the parents that, yes, I will wait for a couple of minutes. And I phoned him up and he said, ma'am, don't worry, I'll definitely wait over here. But in spite of that, I was rushing. My little one was just looking at me and she was wondering, why are you only in the morning hours, like between 6:30 to 7:30? Why do you look like a monster? My God. This question, like, oh God, okay. I just wanted to tell her, yes, mom means mom, mom means monster also. She was startled, she was taken aback, and she said, okay, mom means mom, mom means monster. Try to be that monster who's sweet monster. I'm like, okay. I told her, like, we are getting late, baby, and we stay almost at the end of the society. This block is at the end of our society, and we need to rush to the gate. She said, you have a car, you have a bike. Why the hell don't you take them out? I'm like, okay. I said, no, we're getting late. Come, let's go. And again, she asked me the same question, and I was like, because there are a few things we make in our mind, right? I was really getting furious, and the temperature was almost hitting the top of my head, and the barometer would burst anytime. I'm like, will you stop or can we start? And she's like, okay, go check your kitchen board and come back and talk to me. I'm like, oh dear, we are late and you're asking me to do so many things. We need to rush. And she just paused. Why the hell do you want to rush? I mean, first time I saw her using any such word. I paused, I ran to the kitchen, and I don't know what she asked me to. She just wanted me to go to the kitchen and come back so that by the time she can, pack her toys in her bag. That was her intention. But I saw the board where I had written about the purpose or the value or the vision or the mission I live with. The purpose, what I live with, is transforming words and emotions into stories, creating that emotional and mental well-being. It so happens, right, at times, either we don't have the purpose or we have the purpose which is just rusting over there in a parking lot which we never want to visit. And these are kind of such incidences which gives us an awareness to pause before we act. I was acting, I was reacting. Might be, it sounded a bit funny when I was just sharing that with you, and it looked funny to my daughter also. But the turmoil that was there in my mind, it was same as in the organization at the end hour when we rush to complete the project. At the end hour where we actually lose ourselves, might be we are almost 98% through with the project, but the 2% is actually putting a lot of pressure in our mind. The 2% is what we always crave for to make it as 100%. But we forget the fact that 98% is something that we have achieved, we have done. It is just not milestone. It is hell lot of milestones that we have gathered our way to create that 98%. Need not be 98, even that 50%, even that 35% makes a huge difference. Might be in our education system, 35% might be just pass or a little above that also. But what about that 35 or 40 or 50%, whatever percentage that you have achieved, it really means a lot. Today, my daughter, though she wanted me to run to the kitchen just so that she can hide her toys and put it in her bag and carry it to the school, but it gave me an awareness. Sometimes we, though breathe, talk about, write about, or we say we've been living with a purpose, we definitely slip. So it is that moment we need to allow someone who's around us, showing us the path. They might show us the path without showing one. They might teach without teaching. They might guide us through without guiding. When I say that, I mean that sometimes few learnings are not in a structured environment, structured way or the syllabus way of learning. It just comes as we are in our journey. It's important to be aware when such things happen in our life, to embrace it and keep moving. In my scenario, both the driver was ready to wait. My little one was still cool. She was not getting agitated or she was not getting angry or frustrated seeing me rushing through the hour. When I have so many things happening around me, at that early morning between 6:30 to 7:30, is crucial hour, I know, for several parents out there. Sometimes it's important to pause. Sometimes it's okay if they miss the class. Sometimes it's okay if they are late. But that sometimes is okay. What we do is every day we are living that rush hour. So the question is, that sigh, that pause and reflection is important, because this is what happens even in the corporate. That's what I say, get incorporated or get incorporated. Shakunified thoughts I believe in, because Shakuni as a person in Mahabharata, he was known for various reasons, like he was the reason for bringing the entire clan to ashes. But when we dive deep into his strategies, can we not use that in our regular life if our intention and if our purpose is in place? For example, outcome oriented, visualizing what we want to have, pattern breaking, always unidirectional about our thought, about whatever work we are doing, come may what. Being conscious about all the thoughts that comes in our mind and the people around us, and still go about doing our work when we have our purpose, vision, mission, and all these statements aligned to our belief system. To believe that sometimes our belief system are the one which is the holding factor, which doesn't let us move further. To believe that sometimes we have to break few patterns which is not helping us in any way, because it is just like feeding that weed, and we don't want weed to grow on us, because weed's nature is to suck the nutrition and all the best qualities that's there in you. Why let such a pattern grow within us? Be aware, and I am aware about certain weeds that's there within me, but I need to keep it at a distance away, or I should never let it grow. Because if I'm going to feed the weed, what I really want to do consciously takes a backseat. And here I am, or all of us towards the rush hour. What I'm sharing is just not about the personal incidents or personal happening. It is something which is applicable in our day-to-day life, in our corporate function. So let's hit this Friday, because most of the time Friday we say, hey, it is Friday, thank God it's Friday TGIF. But it's also important to remember that let's enjoy, or let's get into TGIF, reflecting what we want to do over the weekend, rather than sleeping over the thoughts, which is not going to help us. So this is what I wanted to share with you all. Thanks for listening, sharing your thoughts, and for the blessings and the wishings. I'm just a culmination, like my good friend and a coach, Mr. Anand, says, we are nothing but, we are a culmination of the people that we grow with. We are a culmination of the thoughts that we have grown up with, and we are the culmination of what we are. So over to you, how you wish to culminate into. My best wishes to you, and see you back soon. I'm going to be coming up with other reflection stories and copy and conversation. I have quite a few people in my guest list. We are having fun talking to each other. Just that, we're just buying like a week to 10 days time to work on the schedule and get the interview. I wouldn't say interview, the discussion's done. And yes, you will be listening to that. Thank you. Namaste. Bye-bye.